Niner Empire, what's going on? Cam Rogers coming at you for the 49ers report. I have 9 juicy rumors to get into. We'll start things off with Roquan Smith. Are the 49ers going to draft the linebacker out of Georgia? 3 Jet heads now. I am faithful in it. I'm upgrading this from 2 Jet heads to 3. So this coming from the Press Democrat. Look, if the 49ers don't trade back from number 9, I think Roquan Smith makes the most sense here, even though Tremaine Edmunds could be there, could be very tempting for San Francisco. Smith won the Butkus Award for the nation's best linebacker a year ago. He'd be a fantastic replacement option for Reuben Foster, who is likely to miss at least 6 games in a best-case scenario, ladies and gentlemen. Worst case, the guy gets 11 years in prison, which could be the punishment if he is indeed convicted. More on Foster later. Roquan Smith, rangy, he's fast, really good in pass coverage, drawing Patrick Willis type of comparisons. Let's slow down there, but still, he's extremely talented. He's faster than Foster too, but probably not stronger than him. So Smith needs to bulk up a little bit. But in all, Foster is in a position where he probably won't see the field anytime soon. So Roquan Smith is the safer option here at number 9 than, say, a Tremaine Edmunds or going elsewhere at a different position. You got to figure out the insurance policy. Roquan Smith is the guy at number 9 should the 49ers stay there and not trade back. All right, folks, you see the 3 Jet heads there. Let's get to my rumor meter. 0 Jet heads, fake news, do not believe in that rumor. 1 Jet head, little truth to it. 2 Jet heads, something simmering. 3 Jet heads, as you just saw with Roquan, we're faithful in it. And 4 Jet heads, it's happening. Let's get to rumor number 2. Are the 49ers trading back with the New England Patriots? Giving this 1 Jet head here, little truth to it, at least for now. Now, a lot of dominoes have to fall for this to go on. So first, there has to be a scenario where Josh Rosen is there at number 9, which I guess I could see happening, although I'd be pretty surprised. So that means the Patriots have a quarterback there at number 9 that they really, really want. Then the likes of Roquan Smith, Tremaine Edmunds, Quentin Nelson are off the board. Possible also, but I think unlikely. And the 49ers would have to bank on finding more value at, say, picks 23 and 31, which I could see. Maybe a Rashaan Evans is there. Perhaps Josh Jackson falls as well. Although you should expect insanity during the draft. Keep in mind the variables that are involved here. So we could see some chaos within the first 8 picks, and maybe Rosen falls to 9, and maybe the Patriots come calling to John Lynch. But again, everything kind of has to shake out for this to happen. So all the stuff that I kind of talked about there. So should the 49ers trade back from number 9 overall? You could look at a scenario when maybe Roquan, Tremaine Edmunds, and Quentin Nelson are all off the board. If that's the case, then I think San Francisco should surely trade back. Whether they do remains to be seen. But maybe John Lynch sees some value in the back end of that first round, and maybe the 49ers do trade back. So we'll see what happens. Hit me up in the comments section, and I'll read what you guys think. Let's get to the next rumor on my list here. Rams versus 49ers in Santa Clara. Is that a top 10 game? Absolutely. 4 Jet heads on this one. You see the rumor origin is yours truly, Cam Rogers. So I recently ranked the top 10 games of the 2018 NFL season, and I did 49ers hosting the LA Rams as my number 6 game. Home game under the lights, Sunday Night Football, the reigning NFC West champions coming to town. This game would be a lot of fun. We're talking about the reigning Offensive Player of the Year and Todd Gurley and Jared Goff, of course, on that offensive side as well. You look at San Francisco with Richard Sherman in town. He facing a good core of wide receivers there for LA, headlined by Brandon Cooks and Robert Woods and Cooper Kupp as well. This has the makings of a fantastic matchup, a really fun rivalry for the ages. Jimmy G versus Jared Goff for the next 10 years is going to be a lot of fun. And next year is just the beginning. So Definitely a game you guys cannot miss. Really, anybody who's a football fan cannot miss that one under the lights on Sunday Night Football. 4 Jet heads there. Let's get to the next rumor. Are the 49ers drafting Leighton Vander Esch, linebacker out of Boise State? So 2 Jet heads here, firmly in the rumor category. Matt Barrows reported the 49ers showed interest in Vander Esch, but due to scheduling conflicts, couldn't bring him in. This would be an interesting selection, and I think the 49ers could draft him if they decide to trade back. Drafting him at number 9, though, I think would be a major reach and really should not be on the 49ers' radar. Vander Esch stands at 6'4", weighs 256 pounds, really good size. Finished his career with the Broncos, amassing 141 tackles, 4 sacks, and 2 interceptions. Showcased a ton of athleticism at the Combine, and with some polishing, folks, he'd be a great inside linebacker to fill in for Foster, or perhaps create a duo with Reuben should he return at some point in time for San Francisco there. So 2 Jet heads on Leighten Vander Esch. All right, rumor number 5. Are the 49ers drafting Derice Fontaine, wide receiver out of the University of Northern Iowa? So 2 Jet heads here. Now, Fontaine did not participate in the Combine, coming from a smaller school, of course. The 49ers reportedly expressed interest in him. He's a wide receiver that's really, really solid at 6'1", 210 pounds, good size. Did compete in the East-West Shrine game. Now, his best season was his senior year, catching 66 passes for 643 yards and 12 touchdowns. Likely a day 3 selection, or could even be brought in as an undrafted free agent, but not a guy that you guys should really be focusing on for the first round, second round, third round, etc. So Fontaine, probably a day 3 selection for the 49ers if he does get drafted. If not, maybe you could bring him in for a workout as an undrafted free agent. So keep an eye out for Fontaine. Pretty good wide receiver, but obviously in a class with Calvin Ridley and Courtland Sutton and James Washington, Fontaine kind of gets shoved down the depth chart, if you will. So there you go. Let's get to rumor number 6. So the 49ers drafting Quentin Meeks, cornerback out of Stanford. 2 Jet heads here. So this coming from the San Francisco Chronicle. The 49ers would really utilize Meeks well. He's got the size at 6'2", 205 pounds, and Meeks is hoping to follow in Richard Sherman's footsteps, and he certainly has similar size to Sherman. He's been in contact with Sherman before, asking for advice and the like. Meeks would be a mid-round selection, and a great one at that. He played in a defense similar to that of the 49ers at Stanford. The knock on him is his lack of acceleration and speed, but you may recall way back when, Sherman got that coming out of college as well, so perhaps he really is Richard Sherman Jr., so keep an eye out for Quentin Meeks as well. Really good size and perhaps a corner that the 49ers look at on day 2. Rumor number 7, are the 49ers going to go 10-6 in 2018? 3 Jet heads here. We're faithful in this one. ESPN released its predictions for all 32 NFL teams, and 10-6 is the prediction for San Francisco, which I think, number 1, would be an incredible turnaround. And 49ers fans really shouldn't ask for more than that, although we know you guys will, of course, with the expectations. I believe 12-4 is the ceiling for San Francisco. 10-6, though, is a really good number. They have some really difficult games next season, including 2 against the Rams, a date with the Packers at Lambeau, and a duel against the Minnesota Vikings. So all things considered, 10-6 and a playoff berth, perhaps, would be really good stuff for San Francisco coming off a season that started off really not all that great. Let's get to rumor number 8 here. Are the 49ers drafting Ronald Jones, running back out of USC? 1 Jet head here. Little truth to this. This coming from Bleacher Report here. And the 49ers reportedly met with Jones within the past month. He's an interesting running back, but has some question marks in terms of durability and size. He'd be a major roll of the dice, in my opinion, in terms of the first or second round, so I hope the 49ers don't draft him early. Maybe a late day 2 pick would be good value, but the 49ers already have a good core of running backs with McKinnon and Joe Williams and Matt Breida. I think the 49ers' priorities should be elsewhere instead of running back. So I'm talking about edge rusher, linebacker, guard, corner. You got to go through all of those positions first before you look at the backfield. So one jet head on Ronald Jones. Rumor number 9, and here is the Reuben Foster update. Will Foster's victim not testify in this case? 2 jet heads here. So here is the report. The alleged victim in the Reuben Foster case has hired a lawyer, which could mean a couple things here. One is she may be looking for just general legal advice, which is very, very possible, probably the most likely scenario. Another is she may be trying to not testify against Reuben Foster, or she just doesn't want to talk in general with authorities. So if she chooses not to testify, it could make the case against Foster more difficult, and a conviction could be less likely. Now, if Foster's former girlfriend also doesn't want to talk to the NFL, league investigators will have to find other evidence in the case. In all, this is pure speculation, just kind of talking about the possible motives behind hiring this lawyer here. I'll say one thing: if the alleged victim does not speak with the NFL may not suspend Reuben Foster at all because they have nothing to go off of. So what do you think in terms of the future of Reuben Foster? Should the 49ers cut him now, perhaps cut him later, or just, wait it out, and even if he is convicted, still keep him on the team, which really wouldn't make too much sense, but certainly let me know in comments on Facebook Live as well as YouTube.